In Oklahoma, we're always glad for the rain because we've certainly seen the other side of that coin way too often. But sometimes we wish the timing of the rain was just a little bit better, especially if we're one of those that's putting up a cool season hay crop, such things as fescue or wheat hay. As we're putting up that hay, we need to be really careful about how much moisture is being caught up in the bale as we're storing this hay crop. Understanding what happens with wet hay, I think, is pretty important for producers that are putting up hay at this time of the year. If that hay is pretty high in moisture, then the first chemical or biochemical reactions that take place just due to changes in the hay crop itself inside that bale will cause the temperature to rise, and it may get as warm as 110 to 120 degrees just due to changes in the hay itself, and at that point in time it's not really a problem. As it gets a little bit higher, a little bit warmer, especially in those situations where there's extra moisture in that hay, then microbial activity begins to take over, and then very rapid changes take place inside that hay bale and raise the temperature pretty rapidly from around 120 degrees to 150 degrees, and at that point in time then it can be pretty dangerous, and we need to be doing something about it if it gets that warm, because at that point then it changes even more rapidly due to the microbial activity from about 150 to 170, and almost immediately change and get as hot as 400 degrees inside that bale. That means, of course, that it's beginning to burn, and the chances of a hay fire are going up rather dramatically. So a couple of things to keep in mind. If we're storing some hay that we're a little bit concerned about this spring, perhaps being put up a little too wet, let's think about where we're going to store that hay. And certainly if we're thinking that this hay may be that one that could get pretty warm, we may want to do some testing to see if it's actually to the point to where we need to go ahead and pull those hay bales apart, spread them out, and cool them off before that hay fire does occur. If you're considering having to check some hay, I really want you to go to the SunUp website, and we've got a link there to an E-extension fact sheet that's done basically at Penn State University. It'll give you a lot of good information about what happens with wet hay, so I think that's a real critical fact sheet for you to look at. Certainly, understanding this business of putting up wet hay can be real critical to the safety of yourself, the hay, the other hay crops, perhaps farm buildings. So let's get this done correctly this spring, and we'll have a successful outcome with the wheat hay or the fescue hay that we put up this year. Hey, we look forward to visiting with you again next week on SunUp's Cow-Calf Corner.